Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you can hear me okay, and welcome to this Facebook Live for BWI Business Women In. My name's Denise O'Leary, and my company is Purple Marketing. And we like to say we help our clients win more often. So, how do we do that? Well, we're bid writers, we help people with marketing strategy, and we also help people win awards. And as you'll see in the background, I've recently authored a book on how to win awards, and I'd love for you all to consider winning awards as well. It's such a great way to build your business profile. We're not actually going to be talking about winning awards today, particularly, although it's a subject I'd love to talk about. And I'd happily talk about all things purple too, as you can see. That's another thing I'm highly interested in. But today we're going to focus on marketing for recovery. My business was formed in 2014 and I'm now in my seventh year of trading. And I think, like all of you, we're seeing some amazing ups and downs in the business world. So, how is it that we're going to move ourselves forward in this structure? Well, I think we just have to be pragmatic. There's things that we can change, and there's things that we can't change at the current time. So, one thing I would say from a purple marketing perspective and from definitely your business perspective, make sure you've got your website up to date and your social media channels. Do what you can, post when you can, make it relevant. And if you want to follow me, you're more than welcome. My channels are Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and actually probably more content on LinkedIn than most places. And of course, I'm delighted to be part of the BWI network as well. I'm really keen on helping people with their business challenges. And all businesses are so different, but actually, a lot of the core issues are also similar. So that's one of the things I think is interesting when you get to do marketing strategies for so many different companies. Everything from chocolatiers, then chocolatiers, lingerie makers, who else? People who do drainage, and I do a lot in the construction sector. So it is one of those things. I think all sectors are different. The recovery is going to be different for all sectors. Some are having a tougher time than others. So it's what's most pragmatic for your circumstance, I think. So please check out www.purplemarketing.co.uk. We've got a great website there. Certainly you can find some content there that hopefully that can help you in the links, and follow the social channels, and I'd be delighted to share those with you. I'm just going to reach down actually and turn off my emails so they don't ping continually. Right, there we are. Hopefully they won't make more noises now. So today we're going to be talking about marketing for recovery. And actually, I guess marketing for recovery is very similar to marketing in any other environment. But I suspect that a lot of you have had to make different changes to your processes, and things would have been challenges that perhaps you hadn't foreseen. The first point I would make, most definitely, that's going to be key in marketing for recovery is the advantage to you moving fast. So, as a small business, or as a single owner managed business, or as a sole employed person, you're going to have advantages over larger corporates. Basically, every crisis is going to have a silver lining for someone, not many potentially, and a lot of people are very badly affected. So, this isn't designed to be frivolous or underplay that. But from a market perspective, there's always going to be a demand for new solutions. So, think about how you solve a problem logically. What is it that you're facing as an issue? How are you going to take the steps to solve that? And as a smaller organisation, you may be able to move more quickly than a larger organisation. Many larger organisations are going to have to restructure in this circumstance. If you're lean and agile, then you can make those moves quickly. You can navigate those changing waters. You can look at how things are progressing and make those changes quickly. That's going to be a key skill for a smaller business. And what you need to do is position yourself to maximize those opportunities. How is it that you're going to put yourself in that best position? Where can you be that your competitors cannot? And if you've got your own business, then you're an entrepreneur. Congratulations. You may not class yourself as that, but you are, truly you are. And then if you're an entrepreneur, you're actually going to have the ability also to move quickly, to navigate waters, but you will possibly see opportunities that others won't. You're a problem solver if you're an entrepreneur. You're looking for solutions to issues. And if you've embraced technology during this time, so particularly things like Zoom calls, have you moved what was your face-to-face business to an online environment? Have you adapted AI technology in different ways? So you may have all of these different structures that actually you can flex and look for that opportunity and move quickly. So one thing I'd say is if you're looking to market for recovery, focus on your customer pain points. What are they identifying as their main issues? And how are you going to be the solution to that problem? If you're the solution to the problem, then you're going to have delighted clients. So moving fast is really key. Bluntly, you're probably going to have to look at saving costs as well. And I suspect a lot of you have done that already. Take advantage of cheaper products and services, but understand there are other people that are also trying to make their living. And I think that's one thing that about supporting local, embracing your local business community, looking at how you can work together in collaboration with all of those different businesses. That's going to be really key. And look at your software programs, for example. You may have memberships to subscription software services, and a lot of those have offered discounts during this time. So don't be afraid to drop them an email. They might give you a 2 or 3 month holiday or reduce you to a different rate in these times, especially if their business has been particularly buoyant and they've seen a massive uplift in client numbers. Then actually you may have the way to take advantage of that and get a bit of a discount for yourself. And you may be thinking of expanding. One of the things that will be happening, sadly, is a lot of people will be changing careers, some through their choice and some not through their choice. So there's going to be talent out there. You may have the option to acquire new qualified talent that you wouldn't have had at another time. So think about that. Is this a time for you to leap forward with something you'd planned? And are other people going to help you in that? And we have to acknowledge recessions do end. This is a global pandemic. Nothing has ever been seen like it. So we don't know which way things are going to go. But we do know there's a willingness always to trade. There's always an exchange of knowledge and product and skill. So think about that as a future. How is it you're going to move yourself forward? And we said earlier, you're an entrepreneur. You've got that spark. Go for it. You will prove yourself in these lean times. You may have challenges. All of us are having challenges in these times. There's either those that are affected or those that are not being honest. So I think, acknowledge that that is such a strange situation we're all in. How are we all going to work through it together? And look at how your product or service fits within the market. It may be different now that your product or service doesn't occupy the same market space that you had before. So give that some consideration. Do you need to look at where things are moving, or are you identifying a future opportunity and actually you're aligning yourself now for how that market will change in the future? The next point I'd make is keep on communicating. Now is not the time to go quiet. You don't want to be broadcasting all of the time with irrelevant content, of course, but keep in touch with your customers and your clients. Keep messages going out on your social media feeds, because sadly there will be companies that cease trading, and if you're not making a noise and you're not heard of, then people will wonder where you are and are you still existing in a business sense. So keep on communicating, but make it relevant. One of the key things I'd say here is about your tone. And there's a lot of PR experts that are very knowledgeable on this subject, but please make sure that you are using the right tone in your communication. Be helpful and kind. Look at how your services are going to benefit the community. I'm not saying give away all of your knowledge. That isn't the case, especially for service-based businesses that give away their knowledge. You've got to be pragmatic in terms of how much time and resource you're willing to share. But if someone needs your help, think about how you can give it to them. The other thing with your communication message, I would say, is make sure you're consistent. People want to see a continuation of a story. They want to know what you stand for, and it's back to your vision and your why in your business. So make sure your communication methods are consistent with that. And don't be afraid to show your personality as well. People do buy from people. So if it's the case that you've got something brilliant to offer, then actually, yes, there are others that can offer a similar thing, but people are buying you. It's your unique way of delivering it. That's what people want to see. What is it that you're doing? So engage on that human level. Make your business relatable. And if your communication is relatable, then your clients will be keen on the content that you're providing. In these times, you really do need to be social media savvy. Have you thought about the positive messages that you can put out about your business or about the circumstance that your business operates in? And don't only share your news, think about your network. What are they talking about? How can you be part of that conversation on social media? How can you share their content? And if you're in a situation where you can't buy what they're offering, be it product or service, you can still do them a great favour by sharing and amplifying their content. So make sure you do that. Make sure it's consistent with your own messaging as well, of course, but leverage the themes as they arise. Make sure they're relevant to your business. Actually, people don't want to hear from someone who talks about everything with very limited knowledge. They'd much rather know that you're an expert on certain subjects and you stick to those, basically. So, what are the 4 basics of marketing for recovery? Well, I guess the first thing is, can you increase your customer numbers? That is one logical way of increasing your marketing reach. Then you've got the choice of increasing the times that any one customer does business with you. So you're magnifying the effect of each business engagement. You could increase the transaction value. So each person is therefore spending more with you. Or you can increase your efficiency and effectiveness. So looking at your cost to deliver and how you manage that and do it in a more effective way. So all of those are going to contribute. It might not be that you can find a vast number of extra customers, but maybe those that are loyal to you will spend more money for you. So look at those 4 mechanisms and say, okay, which of these can I actually do to improve my business? More of the same, more times they buy from you, increase the transaction value, or make your back office structures more efficient so it costs less to produce your product or your service. I'm sure many of you have analysed all what you're doing in your business. So you would have done a SWOT analysis to look at your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Remember, your strengths and weaknesses are internal to your business, and one is often the opposite of another. So if you say, my financial status is not very good in the business, actually the opportunity in the strength element is to say, I'm going to train myself and make my business stronger in that. So often they're the flip side of one another. When you're looking purely at opportunities and threats, these are in the external market. And who had global pandemic down as a threat to their business? Well, a lot of people had change in policy, change in environmental structures, change in worldwide economy as potential threat structures. And of course, the pandemic has actually created a structure where all of those have come in a perfect storm. So you do need to look at what the market itself, the things outside of your control, possibly can provide, because it's when you understand them and you can leverage your business, then that's when the opportunities arise. A lot of people have talked about pivoting their business. That was where they had a given client and a given focus type and maybe a niche audience, and maybe they couldn't do that anymore in this circumstance. So, for example, the country pub that couldn't have anybody in has now formed a village shop. These are great things to consider. A lot of people did it at the start of the crisis when they realised what the situation they would be facing. But don't forget, you've got the choice and the opportunity as an entrepreneur to pivot your business at any time you choose. You don't have to have a crisis to change your mind. Ideally, from a marketing perspective, you probably need several different types of revenue streams so that you can be earning money, maybe in a passive way. So you've got a membership or an affiliate scheme of some sort, or you've got a retainer, or you've got a product that goes out every month, or whatever it is that you have. And you might be doing then sporadic sales, or have a shop, or do face-to-face consultancy. So look at different income streams and how you balance all of those together. If you're pivoting your business, you're actually going to be taking the goodwill that exists and using it just in another structure. So show your leadership, show how you provide great value, and show how you support your community. And if you do that, then the new business format is going to take all the best of your existing one. Revisit your old customer profile. Have they really changed? Have parts of the profile changed? It might be that you appealed to several market sectors and actually two of them are still fine, and three or four additional ones now are different. So look at how the core of your data changes. If you're going to pivot your offer, you need to consider, okay, what are the things I can offer now? What is it in the immediate time frame that I can consider that will help my customers in this situation? What do they need most? And it's back to what we said very early on and the recurring theme. What are the solutions to the problems they have? If you constantly analyze the solutions that any business has, the solutions exist because someone's taken the time to look at what the problems are that their clients face. So you've got to look at that whole structure and say, actually, how am I providing a solution to that problem? That is really, really key. You may have had an issue securing your revenue. And I think it's been one of the tragedies of this circumstance that so many small businesses have not been paid for things they'd already delivered. And sadly, it started with a lot of the larger businesses who, for their own economic reasons, decided just not to pay anybody. So cash flow and the cycle of cash movement stopped. Therefore, everybody was owed money, then didn't have any money to pay anybody else. I care really, really passionately about this. It's something I see with government frameworks where they're always talking about paying suppliers within 30 days. And sadly, some of the protagonists in the construction industry are the worst offenders. If you appreciate other small businesses and you made a promise, try to pay them. If you can't pay them exactly as you promised because your circumstances changed radically, then communicate with them and explain what's happened and what you can do instead. Can you agree a payment plan? But when we're looking at securing revenue, you need to be thorough on chasing up the money that's owed to you, and securing your cash flow is essential. Those with strong marketing and sales processes will outperform those without. Revisit any contracts that you had in process. Was there things that looked like they were going to come off just before the crisis started? They actually might start happening now. So now could be the ideal time as you're looking at marketing for recovery. What did you have in your forward order book? Make sure you keep in contact with all of those clients and customers that showed an interest, and make sure you can leverage that. Maybe you need to offer payment plans. So is it the case that you had a great product or service and actually it's quite a level of investment for your customers? Can you give them some flexibility in the payment terms? Again, you don't necessarily want to reduce the value of what you offer, because the difficulty with moving your price point is that it changes the perception of what something's worth. So it might be prudent for you to offer a short-term discount, or a buy two, get a third free, or something of that line, but do be aware of how it changes the perception of what your price point is. And make sure you keep your customers happy. Your clients that are already with you and loyal to you are your greatest asset at this time. So stay loyal to them, make sure you keep in touch with them, listen, make them the priority in your business. And you might want to create some new offers. So have you thought about product bundling? Can you put some things together that you hadn't done before? Can you make a pack of something, or add a consultation offer onto another product that you do offer? There's multiple ways for different businesses to bundle their offers. Don't give away your value. It's going to be really key now to show flexibility, but not desperation. That is not going to help you in the future. So I'm sure you've all been in the position of assessing where you are, and probably where you think you are has varied quite a lot over the last months, but take those immediate steps to make your clients happy. Understand your processes, your people, the pipeline of work that you've got already structured. So your processes, you may have moved yourself online. I'm very thankful almost in this process that actually my business had been home working and remote for 7 years. So although I have learned quite a lot of new technologies in this time, it is the case that I was already structured and had those tools in my business. A lot of people were forced into a corner at this time for businesses that they never appreciated. And actually, what's been interesting, a lot of the businesses who said home working won't work for us have now realised, actually, yes, it does work. That's not to say it's the only and outgoing solution that will solve everything. A lot of people are missing face-to-face contact, and there's of course a place for everything in the structure, but look at your processes. Can you utilize those digital tools? Is there any issues? Do you need to look at, your Wi-Fi connectivity, your cybersecurity? What features have you got? But make sure you consider those in your decision making. And do you have a pipeline? Is there work that you can secure? Even if you can agree to take it at some future time, that's going to add concrete data to your business that you wouldn't have had otherwise. Which clients are you going to focus on to make sure that you can secure your pipeline? And clients, of course, are people, and you may have people in your team, you've got people in your network. Is there training and development needs? Is this the opportunity where they've had that chance to upskill and to deliver more into your business, so that actually when you can recover fully, you've got all of those new skills and information ready to go? The 80-20 rule is talked about so much in business, and it's key to an element of marketing for recovery as well. Of course, you may not have an exact 80-20 ratio of 80% of business being done with 20% of your clients. It could be more like 70-30, but absorbing that as a principle, do you spend the same amount of time and resource on the proportion that give you the greatest return? Have you done that analysis in your business? If purely on the 80-20 rule, you're focusing 4/5 of your time and your marketing effort on that 1/5, they're going to be more loyal to you, they're going to generate more money, and you're going to have a more sustainable business. If you spend all of your time constantly in an acquisition cycle, it's very expensive, it's very labour demanding of your business for process and resource. And you do run the risk that your loyal clients may not feel loved enough and therefore go to someone else. So understand, where is the proportion of revenue? I'm sure you've probably reassessed a lot of your business processes during this time. You may have even reassessed some of your clients. Do you actually want to sack some of them? Do you not want them in your business anymore? It's a prudent thing to do. It may be that they were a fit for the business you were, and they're not going to be a fit for the business that you're becoming. So have a look at that. Who are they? What is the proportion of business that's important? How do you match what you provide to that audience? And actually, if you need to deselect some people, then do that. If they're not relevant, if they're demanding so much attention and not generating you revenue, then unless they form part of a strategic long-term goal, you are, for want of a better word, tolerating them because you believe it will take you to a position you want in the future, then that's fine. But have you made that choice? Have you looked at them and said, based on their contribution, are they worth the effort that it costs to maintain them? So look at that. Look at your proportionality. And linking with that, identify your best customers. Think strategically about your business. How do I connect with them? What makes them so valuable? And you might want to look at all their different spend criteria. You could have all sorts of demographics that you analyze. You may have a system that does it for you. Your accounting package may look at things like that. You could have a CRM system, a customer relationship management program of some sort. Probably you're going to consider what their spend is, their business sector, location, size, and what services they buy from you. And actually, some people might buy little and often. Some may buy large amounts very irregularly. You've got to look at that and delve deeper into it. Well, what is their business type? Have you analysed your clients and their potential risk? You can do a SWOT analysis on them too and your competitors, and that will give you that positioning in the market to say, where do I think they're going? And if you understand where they're going, you can understand the impact they're likely to have on your business. What you don't want is basically to be taken by surprise. It is very important that actually, when you're communicating with your audiences, you know what situation they're likely to face as well. So reach out to your existing clients, make sure they know that you're thinking of them, and then you can best tailor your offer to what it is that they need. And drive that customer loyalty. Customer loyalty is really key at all times, but particularly in a recessive market. Can you say, hand on heart, your customer service is excellent? Can you evidence that? So your loyal customers already know you and love you. That's brilliant. Get them to leave a testimonial, a review, whatever platform you use, Checkatrade, TripAdvisor, Amazon, whatever it is, Facebook, that there are review platforms everywhere. But if you can get your loyal customers to leave a review, then those that exhibit similar behavioral traits to them will recognize that they're a similar business and think, well, actually, if they've been served really well, then maybe I would like to be a client of that person too. Do you keep in touch with your past customers? Sometimes, sadly, customers leave, and it can be for all sorts of reasons, but don't forget them. You reaching out might be the opportunity where they've thought of you for months or even years. And then they said, actually, I need that product and that service again. Thank goodness they reached out to me. Well, if they're going to show the effort of reaching out to me, that's the company I want to trade with. So keep in touch with the past customers. Keep them updated about your business and your engagement. Don't make it a sales message the first time you reach out. Make it a friendly message of how are they doing. Ask about what their business structure is. How are they finding the situation? And don't be afraid to actively ask for referrals. I know it isn't a British thing to do. We hate asking anybody to do anything, basically. We feel nervous about asking for testimonials, and we feel nervous about asking to be paid and all those kind of things. Certainly asking someone, would they recommend us? Well, wow, what a thing to do. But do it. Set up some sort of structure. And it might be that you put a reward to it. So someone who refers a friend can get a discount or a product free or a month free or whatever it is that you're offering. But don't be afraid to do that. I think people are happy to refer when they know that they've got a great product or service being provided to them. Of course, going back to the initial point, if your customer service is rubbish, don't set up a referral process because nobody will want to refer you. So really do think about that. How is it that you can repeat and customers, how can you get them in your pipeline on a cycle? How can you reward those who recommend and are loyal to you? And actually, the reason they'd recommend, and that's why it would be valuable, is because you understand the characteristics of your ideal client and you want some more of the same. So, who is your ideal client? Analyze them, give them an avatar, make them a name, look at their structure, how they behave, what they buy, what's their regularity of purchase, all of the things. Focus your effort on those that can give you the greatest potential quickest. Who is that great potential in your business? You may have many similar clients, and actually, they've got very similar attitudes to your business. And actually, if you can find more of the same, then you're already proven in that market. So you've got testimonials, you've got surveys, you've got great reviews, you've got all the data on your website and your social media channels when people are looking you up, and they do that. Your website and your social media channel is your permanent out to the market Salesforce and CV simultaneously. If anybody's dealing with you, they will want to look you up and find out what you're about and find out what anybody else is saying about you. So a top tip here is, have you set up a Google alert of your name and your business name? You want to, and also maybe something about your sector, your main competitors, any opportunities you want to go for. Google Alerts are fabulous for that because you can set it to remind you how often you want. You don't have to have it tell you every day. You can set it up every week. You can look for UK only. And it gives you a little prompt when you're talked about or when your competitors are doing something. So it's great for market analysis. And if you've got your key clients and you've loaded them into your system as well of alerts, and I've got a lot of alerts set up just so I can keep an eye on everybody and what's going on, just so I've got that information. And if someone's done really well, you can send them a congratulations message. And that's a fab way to stay in touch with people. So find more clients that are like your ideal client. You've done the data analysis, you've looked at the business, you know how it contributes to yours. Get some more that are like that. And you need to consider marketability. What is marketability? Well, you have to build the perception of what makes you or your product or your service buyable. What benefits are you actually delivering? What are the underlying motivations of your buyers? How do you match that criteria? Selling is actually often product related. It's about features and functions, and that's great, it's got its place. Marketability is related to the buyer. It's about the buyer behavior. How do you position the benefits of what you provide? Why should they care? Why should they buy yours versus someone else? This is the messaging that you need to develop for your business. And that comes down to understanding their motivations. Backed again, their pain points and their problems. What is it that they're looking to solve? How can you be the solutions to any of those issues? And you're not going to have the answers immediately. And sadly, there's no Google search that you can put for finding the answers to those things either. But market research is undoubtedly going to be an element in your marketing mix you're going to need to consider. You're going to need to keep up to date with those marketing conditions. What's happening in the market? What are your immediate competitors doing? Are they acquiring businesses? Are they shedding staff? Are they moving into new markets? Are they moving out of markets? What are those people and businesses doing that compete for the same spend that you want to target? So we often think about competitors that do the same things, but that's not necessarily the only part of the story. So if you're a jewellery business, you might think that the jewellers are your competition. Well, yes, of course they are. But actually, if someone's buying a piece of jewellery as a birthday gift or an occasion memento, then possibly a florist or a cake maker is another competitor, because someone could have bought that product to substitute in that environment. So look at your competition in a broader sense. And I would always say educate, don't imitate. You are the best version of you. You are the best version of your business. And actually, nobody else does your business like you do it. So don't apologize for that. Don't try and be any other business. Use your knowledge to pivot what you provide and make a better offer. Ask for feedback. How can it be improved? What would you like instead? If people can tell you what they'd like in the process, then actually you're going to be halfway there to making a great product offer for them. Have your clients identified those challenges that you have? Have they known themselves what situation they're in? Can you help them pinpoint what their challenges are and be valuable to their business? How can you help address them together? That's going to build a relationship and is going to be hugely valuable in the whole process. And use your communication channels to ask them. If you're doing some market research, create a survey, ask a question, drive that engagement in your social media posts. So have a review. Look at your business and say, what can I automate? Is there anything I can do better? Maybe query resolution, maybe training or onboarding. How about my website? What's the conversion rate like? What's the personalization of the content? Is it up to date? Have I updated my case studies and news page? I know the world carries on, and that's the thing that we never get to, but people do look at news pages and social media feeds. And if the latest case study they saw is from several years ago, or the latest blog is from several years ago, they will wonder, are you still there? So make it up to date, make that content relevant. Of course, I'd say keep your marketing going. Sadly, and having seen several recessions, marketing is often the first thing to be cut in the time that actually it's more essential than ever. But you've got to be realistic. If your audience aren't spending money, then they're not going to be looking for marketing as an activity. They may cut back, and so will everybody else. But if you're in the position to promote your offer, then when everybody's ready to go again, you're top of mind. You've got to keep that active communication channel. And then look at your sales. What can you do to link your sales funnels and the opportunity? Have you looked at things like your email open rates from your newsletter? Have you bundled offers? Have you got upsells? What actually, in terms of the structures, can you offer? And you need to move people ideally from low to high value. Have you understood that what value you offer and the business benefits? And make sure that you limit those barriers for them purchasing from you. So prioritize anything that you can automate. And the last thing I'd say is call your clients. Yes, pick up the phone, say hello. I know it's really difficult, and actually, a lot of us almost probably feel more inside our shell in this circumstance, but be available, phone them up and see how they're doing. Appreciate if it's an inconvenient time that you just wanted to see how they were, and you'll give them a buzz back at another point. So show you're available, show you're human, and share your story. So I hope that's been some useful tips for you for marketing for recovery. I think we've all got quite a long journey to go on, so it could be going for a while, but make pragmatic choices in your business, but make active choices. If you need to change something, then change it and look at what drives value and how you're valuable. The last thought is make sure you understand your client pain points. If you've analysed your customers and you know what causes them issues, if you're the solution to that problem, they will embrace you and keep you. So thank you very much for listening. My name's Denise O'Leary and my company's Purple Marketing. And we can be found at purplemarketing.co.uk, and that's purple, Purpol, my love of purple, and the OL of my O'Leary. And please connect with us on any of our social channels. And if you want to book any consultancy, we're doing Zoom sessions, face-to-face training hopefully will resume shortly, and I've got plenty of online courses as well, including a lot of the content that I've delivered today in our new Marketing for Recovery online course. So drop me a message, and I'd love to see how I can help. So take care, everyone. Bye.